Hello and welcome to another episode of Build Your Idea with Victor Amos. And in today's episode of Build Your Idea with Victor Amos, I'll be talking about a very, very important skill that everybody must have in the age we are right now. The topic of today concerns everybody, irrespective of your field, irrespective of the skill you have. If you are able to master these two skills I'm talking about today, you will be unbeatable in the age we are right now and in the coming years. This is why you just have to pay rapt attention to this video because, as I said, it will definitely change your game and also improve your results if you really pay attention and you also apply what I'm about to talk about today. Now, I want to start this video with this illustration. This illustration will form the basis upon which we will be building other ideas as per regards to what we are talking about today. Now, I want you to just picture in a construction site, right? You're in a construction project as a building construction, right? You can call it a real estate, you can call it a real estate project, you can call it whatever, right? But then when it comes to a construction project, at the base level we have the laborers, right? These are the people in the field, they are the people getting the job done, right? But then above them we have the project managers, right? The project managers are more of like the ones that supervise the laborers. They are the ones that ensure the laborers have access to everything they need in order to be able to get the job done. These project managers are above the laborers. But both the project manager and also the laborers, they're just trying to get by. When you talk about who gets the most of rewards as per regards to that project, the laborers and the project managers, they get the least. However, even though the project manager gets more than the laborer, but both of them are just scrambling and trying to, they're just more of like getting the crumbs that comes from the project. Now, but then above these guys, we have the people at the top here. When we talk about people at the top, we're talking about the execs. We're talking about the engineer that did the project, and we're talking about the architect that did the design of the whole project. The architect, right, he sits at a higher level than the project manager. Then at the above everyone is the founder of the company. Now I want to ask you this question: among these four categories of people I have mentioned, who do you think gets the most in terms of reward? Who do you think gets the most in terms of reward? Definitely the founder of the company, the owner of the company, the owner of the construction company will definitely get the highest of rewards, right? Good. But then below, now after the founder of the company, which other category do you think will be second in terms of ranking as far who gets most reward from that building construction or from that project? Definitely it will be the engineers, the architect, those professionals, right? That work with the founder, as at the executive or managerial level, right? Then below it we now have the project manager, who of course earns more than the laborer, but of course he's also trying to just get by, right? And then at the base of it, which you can call that a pyramid, at the base of the pyramid is who? Is the laborers. Do you know that that is how life also works? Now when you look at any field you are, right, most like life is more of like a pyramid. Life is more of like a pyramid, and at the base of the pyramid, that is where the majority of people are, right? That is where the majority of people are in any field you talk about, in any industry. You always have people at the base of the pyramid. Now, why you should never that why you should not always why you should not be comfortable being at the base of the pyramid is because, number one, you are the backbone of the pyramid. Now look at the pyramid is only standing. The pyramid is only standing because you are existing, because you are the base, right? But when you talk about reward, who gets the most of the reward, you are not even included. The people at the base of the pyramid are not included. Talk about the labor. When you look at the construction projects, for instance, in terms of physical energy, in terms of physical exertion of energy, who does the most of the work, right? It's the guy in the field. From morning till evening, he is doing the job, right? He is there carrying the block, doing the hard work, right? But in terms of reward, who gets the most reward? Not He's not the one. Now, why is this so? Why is this so? This is because of these four levels of value I'm about to talk about. And that is why I said today's video is so important, that irrespective of where you find yourself, irrespective of your field, irrespective of whatever kind of skill you have, if you are able to understand this video, if you're able to understand the points I'm trying to pass across, you'll find this very much relevant, and you can be able to also apply that into your own field. Now, I was listening to an American salesman by the name Myron Golden. Myron Golden, right? Is one of the is the very big, big American salesman, and also a motivational speaker. So I just want to borrow a bit of the teaching he did and then use that to communicate what I want to talk about today. Now, Myron Golden, one of the American sales expert and motivational speaker, defined gives gave a made a point that I want to share with you, to also collaborate, to also portray the point I'm trying to make today about the two most important skills that you must pay attention to and also endeavor to master if you want to not just survive in the age we are now, but also thrive. So we have in these four levels of value. At the top of it, we have the imagination. Now, what is the imagination? The imagination in this context refers to conception, the ability to see a problem and then conceive an idea of a solution to that problem, be able to provide a solution to that problem. So at this level, when you remember the construction project I made mention of as an illustration, you look at the founder in these four levels of value here sits at the imagination level. The founder is the one in charge, responsible. So the founder is the one that conceived the idea behind the company, that gives the vision behind the company, and then what happens? The second level of value, we have the people, the communication. And in this communication level, we are talking about the architect is the one that translates the vision of the founder into a tangible project in terms of what? Of the design of the buildings that will be done, right? So at this level, they are number one, communicating the idea of the founder, right? They are bringing it to life. They are bringing it to life. Number two, after the designing, the architect also is responsible to what? Communicates the idea to who? To both the founder and also to the people, which are talking about the project manager, who will now oversee the site work, right? And then the laborer, who is in the field getting the job done. So we have the second level of value is communication. Then the third level of value is the managerial. That's talking about the project manager now, who does the management, who controls the people that gets the job done. And then the last level of value is the implementation. Implementation here refers to the person that actually is on the field getting the job done. And in this context, that is who? The laborer. Now, but when you look at these four levels of value, they are more of like a pyramid. They are in a pyramid. They are like a pyramid. The lowest is the implementation, right? And then next to it is a management level. The next one is a communication. The upper or at the top of it is the imagination. And when you look at this pyramid, right, at the tip of this pyramid is who? Is the founder, who is in charge of conceiving the idea and also passing the idea as a vision for every other person. Now, you might be wondering, how does this whole concept affect you as an individual? How will you benefit from what I'm talking about? Now, look at this. The imagination level is also the same thing as the building. Now, when we talk about what are the two most important skills in the age we are right now, is the first two, which is the ability to build and also the ability to sell. The selling here is what? Is a communication. Now, why did I say these two skills are the most important skill that everyone should master? Now, when you look at AI and also the impact that AI is going to cause or is already costing in the age we are right now, we look at most of the things AI is doing are things that has to do with the implementation. So take for example, we now have AI that can be able to build a website for you, right? So we have AI now that is taking over customer support, customer service. We have AI now that is also handling a lot of other things. We have robots right now who are also assisting in the construction side. Now, what does this mean? Now, you might also want to say, maybe you might also want to say, but AI has not become that good yet, right? Maybe because it's probably, if you are thinking like that, it's probably because you are not also aware of the developments that with which AI has gone to up to now. Right now, I'm not also in the support that AI will completely replace humans, right? Because it is still the same humans that will give AI what to do, right? So it is actually humans that know how to use AI that will replace humans that cannot. But however, this is the important and the juicy part of the discussion today. Now, when we talk about um, knowing how to build and knowing how to sell, right? Now, what this means is that if you are a professional in any field, now let me give you an instance. Assuming, for example, you are an accountant, right? Or let's make it more simpler. Let's assume you are a marketer, for instance, right? And then you have understanding of, or by based on your experience, right, working in the marketing, you've been able to spot out the challenges that are existing in the field, in the marketing field, right? But right now we are at a time where market is now online, is on social media, right? So people, there's an increasing trust in terms of buying things online. And we also see a more people are beginning to sell their products online. So what does this mean? This means that the demand for marketing skills will be on the increase, right? Now imagine if you are able to, if you have the ability to build and ability to sell. Now, what does this mean? It means that if you know how to use AI tools very well, right? You know how to, and I know right now, if you want to build, right now, AI can literally build your website for you, and it's a fully functional website. Yes, AI can build a fully functional website for you, right? Good. So now, assuming, for example, and then not only that, AI can also build web applications for you, literally using prompt engineering. You can be able to build a fully functional web applications, right? So that is to tell you how good AI has gone. Now, let me also surprise you. Let me surprise you. Now, on the first of this year, right? In the first of January 2026, right? I built using Vibe coding. I built a tax calculator, right? I built a tax calculator all using Vibe coding, which is what prompt engineering. I built a fully functional tax calculator, right? That would be able to automatically calculate your tax, right? Tell you how much you are paying in a month, tell you your income. And I also included other things, other functionalities in this tool. So, and I said, and just like I said, everything was done through using what? Vibe coding, typing in normal English language. So now, assuming for instance, you are, just like I said, you are an expert in a field and you learn how to build applications, for instance. Now you've spot out the problem in that field, right? You've seen that people will want to sell but don't know how to sell. People have products. Right now we have the education industry is growing bigger and bigger because more people are now willing to share their knowledge. People want to teach. whatever they know, they want to convert that into a course and teach, or write that as a book, right, and sell. So whatever product, whatever digital product they decide to convert their skills into, one skill will still be very relevant, which is what their ability to sell, right? So which means that in this age you are, if you understand the ability to capture attention, retain attention, and convert your attention into what? Purchase. It means that that will be a very big skill. So assuming you are a marketing expert, for example, you've mastered these things because this is something you've done over the years. So you've mastered it. And you are now able to convert that into a what? Into a web app using AI. You are able to use AI, you are able to use vibe coding to just describe the solution you've now discovered, right? You're able to convert that solution, that idea, that solution to that problem. It could be teaching, it could be building an application that helps people to sell, right? That can be able to write copy for people, be able to write the marketing ads for people based on their products, right? Whatever it is you're able to build, right? And then the second skill I said is having the ability to sell. You learn how to move these products you built in with to the large to the mass market. What happens? You become unstoppable, right? You've literally created your own market for yourself. You've literally created a stream of income. And that is why I said in the age we are right now, number one, having the ability to build. And when I talk about having the ability to build, it's not constrained to just maybe building an application, right? It's not constrained to building something fully technology. Having the ability to build can even be likened to having can even be likened to knowing how to maybe, for example, uh, having the ability to build could even be something like converting your skill into a program that you can sell. That is also building, right? Having the ability to build could even be writing a book, right? You have, maybe let's even assume, for example, you are a good chef. And this is something that is very simple. Maybe you are a good chef, you cook very well. Most of the times you cook at home, both strangers commend you that your cooking is delicious, right? Now that is a skill that is monetizable. Now imagine if you know how to build, and building in this context mean is either you're able to write that as a book and then you sell it, or you build that as a program, right? You package that skill, that's cooking skill, into a program that you now start training other people on how to cook, right? That could be something. So that is what an ability to build. So what do I mean? It means that the ability to build here is not constrained to just one part. It just means the ability to spot out a problem and provide a solution for it. That is building. The ability to conceive an idea, look at a problem, and how do you get this? How do you get this done? Right? This is very simple. How do you cultivate or get the idea to build? Having the ability to build, number one, for you to be able to build, it means that number one, there should be an industry or a niche where you have a level of knowledge, where you have experiential knowledge, where you are an expert to some level at. So there should be, number one, there should be a field in which you are an expert in. At least you know something. For you to be able to build, number two, it will require problem solving skills. It means the ability to spot a problem and provide solution to it. The ability to spot a problem and provide solution to it. That is what problem solving. So number one, I said for you to be a builder, the skills you need to be a builder, number one, is to have a field or an area where you are an expert in to some extent. Number two is now being able to spot out the problems that exist in that field, and then being able to provide solution to it. Then number three, to be a builder, is to also be able to know how to translate this solution into a product or a service that people will be willing to pay for. I said number one, for you to be a builder, number one, you need to have a field in which you are an expert into some extent, right? Number two, is to have the ability to spot a problem, and the problem might not be something very magnanimous or something very big, right? A problem could just be you spotting a gap that is existing, right? A problem could just be looking at what other look seeing a need, right? Because you are in that field, yeah, it's very easy for you to see the need that exists. Just like I gave you an instance, for example, you are a marketing professional, for example, and you are able to spot, you are able to, you see that a lot of people in this age will be a lot of people will want to know how to sell their product. And not only that, some people, even now, we are also in the age where your content is your new CV. Your social media is your new CV, right? So, and that is why some companies today, when they want to hire you, they ask for your social media handle. They want to go through it, look at what have you been doing there, what are you doing there. So content creation in the age we are right now is no longer becoming a choice, it's becoming a must-have skill. So that means that in the age we are right now, there are people who will be not there are a lot of people will be willing to learn how to create content that grabs, retains, and converts attention into what? Money. So a lot of so imagine, for example, you are a market as a marketing professional, you understand this because you've worked in an organizations that the where you handle the marketing strategy, or you even have your own product that you are selling. But the most important thing is that you've gathered the skills of marketing, right, for years. You can that is a skill that can be what that you can now productize, right? You can build a program around it. So not only that, now let me also give you another common example that you might also relate with as we talk about the skill of building. Now, talking about the skill of building, for example, what I'm doing right now, I'm building. Yes, the fact that I can turn on my camera, pick on my microphone, and then start sharing knowledge, that is also a building skill. So that is why he said that building is not restrained to a particular thing. Building in the context I'm talking about here is providing value, solving a problem. Take for example, what am I doing right now? I'm solving a problem. I'm solving a knowledge problem. So what am I doing? I'm building. What am I building? I'm building content, right? So you can see that when you talk about building in this case, is I'm referring to having the ability to what to provide solution, to provide value to people, right? That is what building means. Then number two. Now, this number two is as important and perhaps more. If it could even be more important than the first one. However, those two are two non-negotiable skills that you must have. The second skill here is the selling or the communication skills, right? The communication skills. Now, why am I emphasizing this skill? This is because the age we are right now, knowing how to communicate your idea, right, is what will differentiate between those who win and those who lose. The ability to you have an idea, the ability to express your idea in such level of clarity that the people hearing you can be able to receive your idea and be able to take action with it. That is what people will pay you for. That is what you will get rewarded for. Now, this was also my experience where there are a lot of times where I had ideas, wonderful, brilliant ideas that could be able to move the needle, right? Be able to provide solution. And but because I could not express my ideas so clearly and so confidently, right? What happens is either I keep quiet and then someone else comes back, right, to say that. Now what I discover most times is that I know the answer to that problem, right, but because I was not able to express myself, right, sometimes I was scared, I was shy, right, I was not able to express my idea, I was quiet. But look at what I discovered. Now later on, when someone else comes up and he shares the idea, and guess what the person says is the same thing I wanted, is the same thing that I wanted to say. But when this other person comes steps out towards to give an answer to that, what happens? The person takes the accolades, right? So meanwhile, that was something I know if I had also spoken out, I would have been able to what to get that. So what are we trying to say now? Knowing how to sell or knowing how to communicate is so important that look, even in the office now, this also happens even in the place of work, right? There are sometimes you discover that the person or the people that get promoted easily might not always be the best in terms of knowledge, right, or ability, right? Sometimes it's a person that gets seen, the person that gets the eyeballs, the person that grabs the attention of the execs, right? That sometimes you see is the person that is able to get that gets promoted, that gets rewarded, right? Because he is the person in front in the eyes of the people. And this is why it is often said, out of sight is what is out of mind. So that means that if you want to win in the age we are right now, number one, having the ability to build, number two, having the ability to communicate that idea is so indispensable. And if you have these two skills, AI becomes your ally. When you have these two skills, AI becomes your ally. How? Because with these two skills, you can now be able to leverage the abilities of AI to convert your idea into a product or a service. AI can handle the execution part for you. If you look at also most of the things that AI is currently replacing are majorly things that have to do with execution. For example, right now I talked about AI can build website for you. So when you're asking who are the kind of people that will be easily replaced by AI, we see they are the people that majorly are at the forefront of that. They are the people at the execution or the implementation. But who are the people that will benefit more from AI? They are the people who can conceive idea, right? Because if you look at it, the people that will be irreplaceable are the people who know how to use AI and are now using AI to transfer their knowledge, their idea, in terms of building that into either a product or a service that can advance the cause of humanity. And that is why I believe strongly that these two skills, knowing how to build and knowing how to sell, are the two most important skills at the moment that you have to develop if you want to win, especially in this age of AI. If you're able to know how to build, you also know how to sell, you will be immune to AI. In fact, the growth of AI becomes your advantage because the more AI gets better, the better your ideas become, and the easier it is for you to what to send your product to the market. Talking about knowing how to build and knowing how to sell, I'm hosting a training right in the month of February, where I'll be teaching you literally how you can build with AI. I'll be showing you step by step, literally, how you can build. And the interesting part of this is that you don't need a technical skills in order to be able to follow this. As long as you can speak English, you will be able to learn how to use AI to convert your idea into product and service that people can pay you for. And also, I'll also be including trainings on how to also sell, how to sell online, how to get your idea, your product to get to the mass market, right? I'll also be including that in the training. So if you think this is something that you want to do or you are interested in, click the link in the comment section so that you can secure your spot. You can join the waiting list so that when the program is finally live, you will be the first person to know about it, and also how you can be able to be a part of this. So that is it for now. I want to believe that you're able to get one or two from what I've shared today. Just like as I always say, don't forget to be the best version of you. Remember, AI will not replace humans. It is humans who knows how to use AI that will replace humans who don't know how to. I hope you will join the league of those who know how to use AI and are using it to dominate. So, like, coming away again, don't forget to be the best version of you.